Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Divinely Transformed. My name is Lisa, and whether you're new or returning, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome to a special video. I haven't done one of these videos in a long time. These are my teaching videos. I don't have tarot for this, but I've been inspired to do a video about covetousness, possessiveness, and what that leads to when it gets extreme. So, the reason why we're not to try to possess people, whether that is spiritually or it's by manipulation, like outward manipulation. A person is not property. See, people kind of get this confused. People know this, but yet people go into this default mode of wanting to try to possess someone, to try to own someone, to try to take someone. When in reality, this can't be done, not without consequences. Because people are not things to be owned. We are all free, living, spiritual beings having a human experience, and no one has the right to own or possess another. And certainly, no one has the right to go to extreme lengths to keep someone stuck, trapped. You know, in the extreme cases of this, do you know what this leads to? Kidnapping. Human trafficking. That's what covetousness leads to. Jealousy. Envy. It starts as something small, as "The Boy Is Mine" from Brandy and Monica. I was listening to a song before that, and my freaking YouTube music comes up with Brandy and Monica's "The Boy Is Mine," and I just started laughing because I never liked this song. The song was always stupid. But we do this. We compete for lovers and what friends or jobs or spots in the family or whatever, as if a person is something that can be owned. And you know, I fell into the competition trap with people before in the past. I'm not in competition with anybody. I don't have to be. And, you know, I was sort of thinking that it could be easy for someone to believe that I am in competition with another woman. But I'm not. Because if I was, you would know it. If I was, I would have done and said a whole lot more than I ever did. And I didn't say a whole lot of anything. So, Karmic Feminine, if you think that I have done anything unbecoming, you're out of your mind. I've never even told your husband to his face what I thought of him or felt about him. Well, I did tell him to his face what I thought of him. I take that back. I did. And it wasn't great. But I told the truth. And that was the extent. Most of the few conversations that your husband and I ever had was just small talk. Period. But there was something there. We both felt it. And then whenever it wasn't small talk, it was just work related. Period. So if I was in competition with you, really, I would have done and said so much more than I did. Because I don't believe that anybody belongs to anybody, because people aren't property. I believe in freedom. And I'm finally free. I've always wanted freedom. And now that I'm finally free, I will never go back to being a slave. And I will also never imprison someone to be free. Because I believe in freedom. And that is how we're supposed to believe. In complete freedom. A healthy relationship is when two free people come together that don't need each other, but they want each other. And they're free to do whatever they want, fully trusting the other. That if the relationship were to end, that they would fully be confident that the other person would be in communication about it. Because that's what people in relationship or healthy relationships are supposed to do. Healthily communicate with each other. Keep each other in the know about thoughts and feelings and things that come up and whatever. Not avoiding conversation until it absolutely must be had. That's toxic, and it doesn't work. It creates mistrust. And whenever you mistrust each other, you're doing shit to each other, adding to more of the distrust. So, this is to get y'all thinking. Anybody that's out there watching in the collective. About freedom. Freedom ain't free. It's a struggle. But it's worth it. Because when you finally make progress and you are free, nothing else matters. Except enjoying your freedom and having fun and living your life. I'm in my last phase of breaking out of my matrix, basically, my living hell. I'm in the last phase of it. And I am determined to be free. Because I will never work for another boss again. Never. I would never work for another boss again. I am determined to make my business my full-time job. For my health, my sanity, for my well-being. Because for me, work is stressful. Even doing this is stressful. And if anybody thinks for a second that this is easy, it isn't. I just make it look easy. It isn't. Anybody who knows me in real life knows that I struggle with anxiety. And fairly frequently. I do cope with it well because I'm not medicated. Well, I was, in a manner of speaking. But in a couple days, I'm no longer going to be medicating my anxiety. I'm no longer going to be claiming it as that anymore either. It is just the issue at hand. It is getting better, and it will continue to get better because I have coping skills that I can use throughout each of my projects and any given day if I need to use it. And I have the freedom to be able to do that now. So I can cope with the anxiety and not have to work through it and make mistakes. And that is what I mean about being free from employers, because whenever you work in a place, realistically, if you're anxious or whatever, it doesn't matter. You either do the work or you leave. And lots of times leaving isn't an option. So you're there, under pressure, messing up, and feeling really horrible because that's too much pressure. And one day, I'm going to be free of anxiety too. I am determined. But it's a process. And I've been working on it since 2019, and I'm still working on it, and I'm almost done. Because first I had to get rid of the controlling and toxic people. That was the first phase. And that took 2 years to do. Because it's a process. It's just something you have to be ready for. And then when you're ready, you know you're ready. And that's with anything that you're having trouble doing, something that you're afraid of. So after the first phase of weeding out the toxic and negative people is the second phase of freeing myself financially so that I don't have to harm my body for a job, because really when I'm stuffing that pressure and working under it anyway, I'm harming my body, and I will not do it anymore. And then after that is the freedom of anxiety itself. Once I eliminate the stressors, I'll eliminate the thing itself. I'm right in the middle. About to knock out another achievement, and I'm excited. But y'all can do it too. You know, it's not just me that can do it. I mean, anybody can. It's just all in what? All right. So this is how to channel desperation in a positive way. When you're feeling that emergency feeling, that desperate feeling of, oh my God, 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 what am I going to do? It's channeling it in a different direction. When you're desperate enough to do the work to get yourself out of your situations, when you're desperate enough to do whatever it takes for you to become healthy, successful, free, whatever. When you take that desperate feeling and you channel it to where you're desperate not to go back to that shit ever again. That you refuse to make choices that you had made before in the past that you knew that you shouldn't have made, and then you paid for it with karma, and you know that you just cannot do those things ever again when you are desperate enough to get away from your old self to be the new person. That is how you channel desperation. Because we all feel it. It's fear. And it's about taking that fear and switching it around. It's basically saving your own life. And the only way to do it is to be of pure heart, pure mind, and pure intentions. Period. It's the only way to achieve it. When you finally use your free will to do something for you, something that you can be proud of, is the greatest feeling in the world and the highest achievement of all. You know, if you think about it, these lives that we have, they're so short, and some lives are shorter than others, and we just never know how long we have on the planet. Ever. And every day should be a gift. But most people live every day in misery, hoping and praying sort of for their deaths, but then when it actually comes down to it, they kind of fear it a little bit too, secretly, or whatever. But staying stuck where you are and not making any changes to that will help you in any way, it doesn't benefit anybody. Even if you think you're trying to make a difference. If you are being abused or taken advantage of or anything, then you're not benefiting anybody. You're definitely not benefiting yourself. So you can't be neglecting yourself, your wants, your needs, or anything on any level in order to be truly making a difference. Because we're not called here to be martyrs. We're called here to enjoy our lives and make a difference. And the only way to do that is to have enough self-respect for yourself, to have boundaries, to make sure that you can live a healthy and happy life to the best of your abilities. That is our responsibilities as humans on this planet. But we're not wired that way. We're not programmed that way. We're programmed to suffer. We're programmed to follow the traditions of our ancestors and our communities and our societies and whatever. Well, it's time to break free of that, because people aren't slaves. No one is a slave. Until you can see that anything else is slavery, then you're just in it. And y'all aren't even happy. It's because slavery is wrong. And it feels wrong on a soul level. It's a subconscious thing. It's something that you're not even mentally aware of. That's why everybody feels so fucking miserable. Because they're all traumatized from years of systematic abuse from parents and family and neighbors and friends and whatever. And then you grow up and then you're abused by your bosses and coworkers and your friends and your boyfriends and girlfriends and lovers and husbands and wives. And let me tell you that a marriage is not a piece of paper that makes someone else property. Just for everyone's information. And most people will believe or will agree with me, is what I meant to say. And believe that with me too. Marriage is a sacred covenant between two people to promise to love and protect each other through sickness and in health. Nowhere in there does it say one or the other is property to the other. It's a melding together. It's a union. And once you're united, you shouldn't be pulled apart. But if you are, it's because the marriage was set up on faulty foundations, as most of them are. Even I myself have treated marriage in a very profane way. Because my second marriage, I didn't even want to marry the dude. But the dude couldn't get his shit together. He's having a hard time keeping a job for different reasons. Some of it was a little bit out of control, but a lot of it wasn't. And so I said, well, if you want to stay together with me, you got to go into the military. And we get married because, that's the only way to receive the benefits. And we went to the recruiter. He said we were going to do this. We got married within a week of going to the recruiter. Oh, it was a nightmare. And then, I shit you not, 3 days later, and this is the universe's, thing to me. Like, this was my karma. 3 days later, he says to me, and by the way, I'm not going to the military. And I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. I lost my shit. Because I was like, I would have never married you otherwise. And that was my mistake. And I learned. And I made a vow to myself that I would never do that shit again, and I never will. I haven't been married since then. And I know that the next time that I get married, it is going to be because God ordained that marriage. Period. I will not get married for any other reason. I will only get married to the person I'm supposed to get married to. Or I don't get married. I don't care. I'm happy to be single in the meantime. But that doesn't mean I'm living this single lifestyle either. I live a very healthy and responsible lifestyle. I don't deal with too many people. I don't talk to too many people. Not really. So, yeah. Been there, done that, learned the lessons. I ain't doing that shit no more. I'm done living the toxic ways of the world. I'm living healthy from now on. Single or not. And the person that I would commit to would be committed to my same lifestyle with me. And be on the same page with me. Or it wouldn't happen. Because I'm not about to be getting involved with any more bad karmics. People that aren't any good for me ever again. I should have been dead many times, but I'm not. And I only have God to thank for that, and myself for listening. So, people need to think long and hard about these emotions that y'all are feeling and how y'all are behaving. Some of you might not be, but there are people who are watching my channel that are behaving unbecomingly because they are very envious, very jealous, very covetous in nature. Always wanting what isn't theirs, or trying to keep a hold of something, or trying to keep a hold of something that doesn't belong to them, trying to keep a hold of people who never belong to anybody. So, thank you for supporting my channel in all the ways that you do. I appreciate y'all so much. But please just think about this message. And if y'all are offended, please try to get past your emotions and seriously think about it, because it is true. And the reason why you're triggered is because it is true and you don't want to believe it's true. So it's time to get real with at least yourself. That when it starts off small like that, but it gets really out of hand. And we're seeing it in the world today. And it's common. And it shouldn't be. It's 12:12 on the clock. It's time to put away all the things that don't serve you. That's what 12:12 means. Addictions. And false belief systems. And everything else that isn't serving you, including toxicity. It's time to end it, because it is finished one way or the other. Whether you decide to stop it or whether the universe stops it. By stopping the individual that isn't stopping. Whichever way. It's over. So, that's what I have for you. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all soon.